All right, welcome back to Ed's Garage. Today, what we're going to do is go through customizing this brand new Discovery Rover trailer that I picked up last Saturday. So this is a 7x14, a couple of 3,500-pound axles, so rated at 6990 for capacity. The 2 5/16 ball hitch naturally for that with electric brakes. A few comments. It looks like it's a very well-made trailer, but a couple of disappointments. I really didn't get much for documentation when I bought my last U.S. cargo trailer. I at least had a spec sheet, interior dimensions, the information from Dexter Axle as to how to properly service the Easy Lube, what are the recommended grease lubricants, etc. I didn't get any of that. This trailer is the blackout package, and it has the Alumatech panels that instead of being 0.030 in thickness, they're 0.080. Besides not getting documentation, the brakes were not adjusted. The front axle was pretty close. The rear axle just had no engagement, no friction sitting there. So I got those set up yesterday. And then I went and made sure I pumped through the Easy Lube spindles so that its first trip is going to be roughly 2,000 miles. Want to make sure I don't have any problems. So we've got our temporary tag up there, cargo door. Let's open it up. Okay, so this is the blank canvas that we are starting with. Again, I just bought this last Saturday, and Sunday had to take it and get it to storage. Unfortunately, on that Sunday, the day after, I had to go get my snowblower. Didn't have tie downs yet, so snowblower slid around as we were driving, and then the handles marred up here. But it's a cargo trailer. Okay, so spare tire is going to go centered right here. We'll hit the steel support that's there, and then we will have a 13 feet of E-track, about 24 inches up, and then probably around 52 inches up we'll have another 13 feet, and then those single E-tracks will go on the center of each of those V's. So time to get started. Okay, so here's some of the products we're going to be putting into properly equip the trailer today. Bought it last Saturday. Today's December 1st. And first thing, we need a spare tire. So the trailer, it's a Discovery trailer, came with high spec wheels and tires. They are out of Mishawaka, I want to say, Indiana, near South Bend, where majority of RVs and trailers are made. So don't think highly of that, but I picked up this wheel off E-Trailer. I believe the wheel was about $63, a black acrylic painted modular wheel. That's a 5 on 4.5 bolt pattern. I'll go test fit it so that I know that we got that right. And then for a spare mount, that slides. Who is this from? Load Locker, I believe. Yep. Load Locker. Is there a part number there? I think I paid $38 for that. So that is going to go up on the center support of the V. As far as these E-tracks go, I have 4 8-foot E-tracks in that stack, 4 5-foot. Trailer's 14 feet long, so that'll cover 13 feet of that. I bought a kit, I bought the bag separate. All this is off Amazon. The wheel, as I mentioned, was E-Trailer. That's a Carlisle tire. 205 75R15 load range D. That is from Amazon. The trailer tires that came with it are load range C high specs. So we've got 4 5-foot E-tracks that came with those mounting rings, these yellow straps, and the yellow hooks. Then I went and purchased I'm going to use these square rounded platforms. I've got, I believe, 8 of those. Those are going to be my floor mounts. And then up in the V, again, there's only one center steel support rail in the center, so I'll probably put 2 on one side and 1 above the spare. And then we have 8 Rhino 2x16E ratchet straps. So close of the day today, all this should be installed and I'll be ready to load up and haul stuff to Denver. Okay, so the mount for the trailer tire, you see there's a screw holds it there. There'll be another one up here, so it's got about a 1/2 inch of play. What I'm going to do is go for the center of it being right about the top of the wheel opening there, which if I go take a look at it, yeah, it looks like it's about 15.5 inches. So we'll slide this out of the way. And inches between those 2 screws is going to be right about here. So there's a screw there I'm going to have to relocate. So that looks like it is a Torx head screw. Let me go see if I've got that to go on a drill bit. Okay, well, I don't have that Torx head screwdriver. I've got a T20, which is too small, and a T25, which is too big, but a number 2 Robertson, the square head for electrical work, seems to bite. I don't know, I think I might have an insert for a drill to put this back in, but we'll go with that. And again, as a reminder, we were going 15.5 to the center. So let's get the screws that came with this. Where did they go? They're right in front of me. Hopefully I'm not blocking you guys, although there's certainly nothing spectacular about drilling some holes. We'll start the hole first. That should be good enough. We're not through the metal yet, but back my chuck down to say, let's go 2, see what that does. Okay, that went pretty quick. Let's that's good right there. Okay. Now hearing the chuck go off, I'm going to back down to 1. And last one. Okay, so that is in there. Then we go and slide this on. We've got our simple stop nut. This will require an Allen key when I'm done. My fat fingers can get it in here. Yep, I'm gonna have to go get the Allen key. Okay, got the Allen key, and it did look like I had a number 2 square bit for the drill. Let's go get this in here. That, get it underneath. That one's tight. Okay, so now let's change the drill bit. Make sure that this will work. It does. Okay. And since we have 3 screws here holding that, do I want to go above or below? We're going to go below to put that screw back in. Alright, so right about there, I would think. Okay, that's that. Lift this up. There we go. Okay, we'll go get that snug a little bit and get set up now. Well, I think let's do a row of E-tracks next, set the height, and then we can do the tracks up here a little bit later. So, gotta go get some stuff and move you guys around. Okay, so here's 13 feet of E-track set up. So now I've got to figure out the height that I want. I tried to set the trailer as level, so I could just use a level in here to do it. But my driveway's got enough of a slant that even with a retaining wall brick underneath it, I couldn't get high enough. So we're just going to have to use tape measure from floor to top to get these set. So right now I've got to figure out the height I want to go to. I'll probably use a 5-footer to start the holes, and then these trim pieces will have to be cut where the E-track goes. Okay, so I had my wife come out here with me to figure out the height that we want. And for the bottom row, we figure we want the center at 20.5 inches from the ground. These are 5 inches wide, so we're going 2.5 up from that. What I want to do is get 2 holes drilled to hold it, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and get through to the metal first, so that we're not supporting the weight of the rail trying to do this. Okay, that's through. And these are, they say to use number 12 or number 14 fasteners. So we are using 14 by 1 inch screws. So, are these screws, these holes all line up? So, if I want this about here, yep, I can go with that hole. Okay, so now I want to go figure out where I want the next one. So I'm going to slide this. Oop, can I do that? Or did I go too tight? There we go. I'm going to go and get another mark at 23 inches. Oop. We are going to have to go, will this reach? I don't think it'll reach there. We're going to have to go into this one. So from there, so that's 23. Okay. Sorry if I'm moving a bit slow today. My son's friend came over yesterday with a 20-year-old pickup truck that he acquired rather inexpensive because the owner was tired of dealing with rust issues. So we were in the garage all day putting on a lift and level kit, replacing the shocks, and we had lots of fun getting 20-year-old torsion bars out. So I'm slow getting up and down. Okay. So hopefully those holes are right where they should be, that will get us going. Let me get this set back since I want the 8-footer up here. I just used this to get set up. Ooh, boy, somehow I didn't think of that. I'm going to have to, let's see how much slack we have. Not much. That's going to be a problem. I have to just set the height because these screws aren't necessarily going to line up exactly in line with these. My bad. Let's see if I can do this by myself. Okay. So it's this hole. And then I'm going to have to enlarge that hole, and that one's not going to be the best hole. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I don't want to go too far. I'll do one more at the far end, and the reason I don't want to go too far is we have to go and cut this trim. So let's go down, mark, and do one more here. Okay, I'm going to want to pull that down just a tad bit as we go through it. Okay. So with that now, where's my razor knife? Let's go and get these marked. Okay, I'm gonna stop for now. I'll go and get this up, do the next one, and just these walls, the studs are every 2 inches. I'm sorry, every 2 feet. We're 2 feet on center, I believe. Let's confirm that, because that looks... No, we're 16 on center. The spec said 2 feet, so that's good. I bought normal metal screws as well, so what I think we'll do is naturally hit 2 every 16, and then at every 8 we'll put in some wood screws. So let me keep going. I'll come back probably when we got this first row up. So quick status update. Got the bottom rail on the one side all completely secure. I decided not to go and cut this. That's very little thickness, and it wasn't something that was cutting with a razor blade. I was going to have to get an oscillating tool, and even still there's got to be a T-part between the panels that it just wasn't worth it. So it doesn't make the rails stick out much. But I've got my fronts on, spare tires in place. I have to continue securing that left one, get the tail end up, do the opposite on the passenger side, and then we worry about the floor anchors. So with the driver's side done, I've got all of the accessories in, all the straps, etc. That down there is loaded up with the 3 Rhino E straps. Another 5 are in here, plus the DC cargo stuff. So now, onto this side. So as I lay the 8-footer down on the passenger side, you can see that right there is the last screw or steel stud to go and put things in. There's no more steel stud till the end. So I want the section that comes here to hit at least 2 studs, which means that I've got to cut this about here. That leaves me 1, 2 for the remaining section. So we're going to cut the 2 8-footers, and then we're going to have to cut the 2 5-footers. Alright, let's get this set up and cut. 2. We'll get these set up now. Okay, so we've got the 8-foot pieces cut and mounted. Now we have to cut down the 5-footers. And I guess that's why I'm wearing safety goggles. Got a piece shot up in my mouth. Okay, so I'm going to stop there and switch gears. I've got all the side rails on. Went and did the cut down the 8-foot up there, little space, running into the 5-foot. So we've got that. We've got some front hooks. My next job is to put these on the floor, and I'm one short. I think this is how I want it. But, you know, I've got it set up thinking for 2 motorcycles up there. We can figure things out and move them around. But the reason I'm going to switch gears is when I went to bring this home the other day, as soon as I plugged in the light, the running lamps went out. They came on for a second, then they went dark, and the trailer app on that truck came up and said that there's a problem with the running lights. I've switched vehicles, brought the Cadillac over here, and just to do a test so I could figure out, did something blow in the truck or is it the Cadillac? So you can see we've got running lamps on now on the Cadillac. We're connected, and yet we have no running lamps. So now I'm going to get under there and see if I can figure out what blew. Okay, so we're nearing the end on having this trailer all customized the way I would like it. I've got to say I've got pretty good neighbors. The trailer spent about 18 hours sitting here in the street up on 4 jack stands so I could take all 5 tires and go to my buddy's shop. What we wanted to do was to go and take out the valves that came with these high-spec tires and wheels and replace them with GM trailer TPMS sensors. It's a specific sensor that's mapped to the truck, and the truck has a receiver right around the tailgate there, and then as you choose what trailer you have, the infotainment system is going to monitor it can do up to 6 tires and wheels, but it's going to monitor the trailer pressure and temperature for me. So I've got that going. A quality comment on these high-spec wheels and tires. They probably have about 70 miles on them and have not hit a pothole that I've noticed, and yet 2 of the wheels had a very noticeable wobble on them. After we put in the TPMS sensors, we also went and balanced them. Not always the norm, but you know, I've got a friend running a shop, so why not? The last time I was shooting, we were taking the trailer looking for a wiring short, and once I decided or determined that the short was in the trailer, I figured, okay, I just paid $8,000 for a brand new trailer. I don't need to be laying on cold concrete checking this out. That's a warranty issue. So I took it in. At first, they pulled the nose panels off because they said that's common where the wiring issues are. However, they described that it was in the back here, one of these back marker lights, and you can see we've got, I don't know if we're catching that, but we have some those blue tap connectors, and that was the culprit. I'll show you what they described to me. Described to me was that the connecting wire, whether it was a defective Scotch lock connector or just poor craftsmanship by the installer, that they had both wires coming out the end channel instead of one in the dead end channel, but they had a wire sticking out just like this is, and that was shorting to ground. So on this truck, the GMC truck, it didn't blow the fuse. I believe the trailer light module sensed a problem and shut down power, but on my Cadillac it would just pop the fuse because it didn't have that intelligence. So I am kind of disappointed in these connectors. I'm okay with them being used for the lights. I understand that, and it's fast. But the one place that I don't think it's acceptable to use them is on the electric brakes. And let me crawl under here. Hopefully you can see there that all the electric brake wiring is them. That one that has white tape on it, that is actually the end of the line. So that is nothing other than two wires that needed to be joined together and could have been a heat shrink wire nut type connection. And to make it worse, that the reason there's white tape on it is the plastic tab would not close. So for whatever reason, that was just going to get water right on the silver plate that pierces both wires, green crusties, and I'd have lost a brake there. So for now, I've taped it. Come spring, I'll get under this thing and get rid of all those connectors that are on the brake system. They're okay for lights, but I don't want them on my brakes. One last thing, I was about to throw this away. I figure I'll show you the part number for the GM trailer TPMS sensors. So this part number gives you two sensors. It's roughly $150 for the two sensors, and of course I had to order two of them to have four sensors. I decided the spare can just go without. If I put the spare in, I want to get the other tire replaced as quickly as possible. Okay, so this is the wrap up. I've actually got some stuff loaded, getting ready for the Denver trip. Last thing here is I dug out from the old trailer what I had. So a couple of jacks, a 2-ton bottle jack, a 1.5 ton scissor jack. I've got a breaker bar with various sockets that'll do both the truck and the trailer. Warning triangles, and some extra straps. I thought for sure I hit a cheap torque wrench in here, but I don't see it, so I'll stop at Harbor Freight tomorrow, grab a quick Pittsburgh torque wrench, and throw it in here. All right. All right, well, thanks for staying with me. Hopefully going through that with me gave you some ideas. It was the second time I set up a cargo trailer, so I definitely did things different than the first time. I think I'm going to be real happy with that DC Cargo E-Track system. So wanted to just give you some thoughts as I wrap this up, and I'm sitting just at 2 weeks of the new trailer, and that's also the first time I've towed with the new truck, etc. So just wanted to give you some feedback on the various parts. First, let's start with the truck. The towing or trailering application that comes on these big 3/4 ton trucks,
I'm assuming it's the same on the half ton, but it's just phenomenal. GM has just hit it out of the park on that. The fact that I had a short in the trailer, and I believe it would have been the trailer light module that sensed that and clamped that off without allowing it to blow the 20 amp fuse, was pretty good, impressive in my mind. When I hooked up my Cadillac to do that, it's not advanced for trailering, only supposed to do 3,500 pounds, I think. But that just blew two 15 amp fuses, where the truck had a 20 amp fuse, and that was just fine. So, great job there. That information system also tells me how many miles I have lifetime to date with that trailer on it. So it's kind of a trailer odometer that you wouldn't otherwise have. It goes and tells me the lifetime mileage that the truck is getting with that trailer connected. So that will be nice to have, to realize how much the mileage goes down as I'm towing that at highway speeds. The TPMS sensors just, they couldn't have done a better job. At first, watching other YouTube videos, I thought I was going to have to, after installing the sensors, play with, using a screwdriver to let air out or putting air in to get variation to identify that wheel. But on this 24, as soon as I get into it and tell it I'm doing a 4 trailer wheels, it asked me if I want to do it with my learning tool or manual. So once I chose my learning tool, I think I was done in 40 seconds. And having a snapshot view of seeing what all 4 tire pressures and temperatures are, condition of my lighting circuits, it's just phenomenal. When I bought that truck, I got a waist safe 2.5 inch aluminum 8 inch strap adapter. Very high quality, love that. Got the one with the scale. I think that is under reporting tongue weight. The reason I say that is with that trailer on it, it's reporting about 200 pounds, which would be just under 10% if it was accurate. But then when I stand on it, that should go up a good 235, 240 pounds, and that's not happening. It might go up another 150, 200 pounds. So I wouldn't put tons of faith in the data that it's giving you, but hey, it gives you a ballpark, and if you're way off on your tongue loading, it'll let you do that. So, like the way safe, truck was phenomenal. On the trailer, Discovery trailer is, in my opinion, 90% towards having a great product. Naturally, I'm disappointed at the fact that after towing it for about 30 miles, the light circuit went out, and I had to go and tow it all the way back to the dealer, drop it off, have them tear the panels off, get them dirty, break the nice caulk that was on it, to find something that just shouldn't happen, to have a wire go through those tap connectors. Somebody's going too fast for that to happen. I like the fact that it's the Dexter Easy Lube axle. However, when I first grabbed it, no matter what I set the gain at on the truck, I could not get those wheels to lock up to properly set the gain. When I got under it and jacked it up, the front axle just barely made the little slightest noise of brake engagement. The rear axle, just no engagement at all. So I had to go and, on my brand new trailer, go and adjust the brakes where, I think that should have been done at the factory. I also had a couple of lug nuts that took at least one full revolution to get to 105 feet-pounds of torque, or pound-feet of torque, however you want to phrase it. I don't think we should be that off that one. You could say the dealer should have gone and double-checked that, but again, if Discovery would just give you some documents. I didn't get much for owner's manuals or documents. do a little better job from a quality, make sure that those brakes are set. The wheels, I'm not happy. I believe the wheels are from high spec. Certainly the tires are from high spec. I learned after I bought the trailer that Dexter Axle bought high spec about a year and a half ago. But the fact that, two wheels had some run out on them, brand new. I didn't go and measure it. So they're just little things. They're so close that, the appearance is great. In general, they're using quality components, just put a little extra effort into quality control, and it's there. I don't regret buying it, but if I wasn't handy and simply expected to hitch up the trailer and use it, I might be disappointed in Denver going through the mountains and not having the braking capability that I thought I should. Also, since the brakes weren't set, I didn't trust that the bearings were properly greased, so I had to use the Easy Lube feature and make sure I put Mobil 1 synthetic grease through that until I saw it coming back on the return channel. So that's it. Like I said, hopefully this was useful for you. If it was, please like or subscribe. As always, shoot me any questions or comments. I will probably do a follow-up video or add on to this, at least put in the comments. In about 2 weeks, sometime in the turn of the year, next weekend, the trailer will make its first trip to my son's. It'll be 280 miles round trip, 290 probably, to pick up some extra stuff. And then I'll be 2,000 miles round trip to and from Denver. So that's it. I'm signing off. I hope you and your families have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Take care.